Hello beautiful people and welcome to the channel Life After Narc. My name's Debbie and I talk about all things to do with narcissistic, abusive and toxic relationships, as well as looking at healing from them. I just want to point out that this is from my own point of view as a female empath having gone through 2 narcissistic relationships. So today's topic is the narcissist your soulmate? What do you think? I'd be interested to know in the comments down below. And before I start, I just want to say that this video is for information purposes only. If you enjoy it, please click the like button. Please subscribe to the channel and share with your friends. So, is the narcissist your soulmate? Well, first of all, what is a soulmate? And I want you to watch to the end because then I will reveal the answer of whether the narcissist is your soulmate or not. So what is a soulmate? In modern communities and in the spiritual community, we believe that the soulmate is the other half of you. This person is going to fulfill you and be the other half of you that makes you whole. Your life partner, the one that you're destined to be with. Now, I've often said in my life that I believe that we have many soulmates. As we go through life, we have friends, parents, family members, and other lovers or partners that we believe, wow, this is my soulmate. That relationship ends and we move on to the next one and we say, oh, this is my soulmate. And I think on some level that is right, that we have many people on this planet that we call Earth who are destined to meet us, who we are destined to feel close to, and perhaps you want to call it a soulmate. But now I lean towards the belief that we are in fact our own soulmates. That we don't need another, that the other half, well, that comes from the sort of masculine side of things. Oh, my other half's at home. So how can we be half a soul and this person make up us or complete us when I feel that we're already completed? But there's this imbalance in where do we draw this line between what is a soulmate, what isn't a soulmate, and was the narcissist actually our soulmate? What I believe, and this is after studying through a gentleman reading his books, Dr. Michael Newton, and I'll put a link to his website down below in the description box if you want to go and do some further studying, and I highly recommend you do if you are interested in soulmates. He talks about us being part of a soul group. Now he's a hypnotherapist, and in the work that he's done, he created a method of hypnotizing people that brought out what he calls a life between lives. So while we have past lives, because he would do past life regression, there is a life where we are in spirit before we are reborn. So for example, we die, we move into spirit, we are with our soul group. And within that soul group decides who's going to be what and who's going to do what. So this could be quite a big soul group, and it's normally such as your family, your friends, people you're going to meet along the way. And as you are reborn, the people that come into your life are part of that soul group, and they come into your lives at different times for different reasons. Now this gets quite complicated and complex, so I'm trying to keep it as simple as I can, and I really suggest that you read Life Between Lives, Destiny of Souls and Journey of Souls. Those 3 books are phenomenal and will give you a great insight into this whole topic and this whole subject, especially if you want to increase your knowledge about soulmates and soul lives and hypnotherapy, and especially if you're looking to do some hypnotherapy regression, for example. So I also believe that his studies show that when for example, I'm a daughter with a father. So when I go to spirit, my father will be there and I will be there. And in our next life, we may sit and plan that in the next life, I'm going to be the mother and he's going to be my son. So that there are lessons that we learn off of each other. And this is so that the soul group expands and learns, and that each soul learns so that they can live in soul and that they have completed their journey on this earth. I hope this is making sense. As I say, I'm going to link to the website below in the description box. What I also believe from this and from reading his books is that during this life that we have, we put soul markers in place or mile markers in place that when we meet somebody, we think, oh, this is our soulmate. This is the person we're supposed to be with. And I think that that is quite apt, really, that we recognize that in our journey as a soul, in our journey as an empath. And that sometimes this person may be a beautiful person and they may be an empath like us. And sometimes they may be a narcissist. Sometimes they may be in the middle ground. But I do believe that we meet the narcissist in our lives in order to learn a very big soul lesson. Now, I'm in no way saying that the narcissist is part of your soul group. I just want to get that very clear, that this could be somebody with outside your soul group. And I'm not saying that I believe this 100%. I'm still coming to my own conclusions with this. This is just what I have learned in my journey, as in my spiritual journey, trying to find out what a soulmate is. But this narcissist may well be there to teach our soul in what we are to do in this life, to teach you that you are the empath and they are the narcissist, to teach you to recognize this misogyny. Because ultimately, in my own personal view, and this is my view only, generally the narcissist is a male, and generally they are quite misogynistic. And I feel that in the modern day that we live in, as a feminist, I believe that we are here to stamp out, cull, end misogyny. And to me, when I look at narcissism and narcissistic behaviors, I feel very much that it is a misogynist concept. It is very patriarchal. Now, whether you believe in that theory or not, that's up to you. And you may want to believe that that person was your soulmate, and that's perfectly fine. And if they've left you, to me, it doesn't matter that they left you, because there will be another person coming along that is your soulmate if you open yourself up to it. But at the same time, we need to protect our boundaries. The narcissist, as you know, takes. We as empaths give. And we give because we don't have sufficient boundaries around ourselves. And we need to start putting that in place and make sure that we have that in place to move on into our next relationship. And this is where the healing becomes so important after our journey is over with the narcissist. As I say, I believe that we're whole and that we are the other half of ourselves, the dark and the light, the good and the bad, the yin and the yang, the male and the female, the anima, the animus. And that these two halves need to learn to work together to create a whole. In fact, we have to embrace the shadow side of ourselves, that dark side of ourselves. So while as empaths, we may be the lighter side of things, we may believe in spirituality, believe in the pureness of people, believe in love, that the shadow side doesn't. The shadow side is very dark. And not many of us want to embrace or appreciate our shadow side. There is an old Indian tale, and I'm going to précis it. I'm not going to give you the full tale, just the main ending of the tale. And the ancient Indian grandfather tells his grandson that there are two wolves that fight within a man's body, a dark wolf and a light wolf. And the grandson asks, well, which one wins, grandfather? And the grandfather says, whichever one you feed. So, in effect, the narcissist feeds his dark. The empath feeds her light. And these two come together to create a whole, but it's mismatched, it's not real. Because you can see that each person needs to have both of those energies within them. There's a book by a lady called Clarissa, I'm just going to read this, Clarissa Pinkola Estes, called Women Who Run with the Wolves, and I highly recommend that book and that you read it, because it does tell about these two wolf stories that has come up in cultures around the world, all around the world, that this has been told by mothers to daughters. So it's something that we really need to be aware of, which brings me back to that misogynistic side of things, that these wolves are the dark, and perhaps the dark of humanity. Just something to think about. So, is the narcissist our soulmate? I believe in one way, yes, they are. They're there to teach our soul what it needs in order to survive this earth, to survive our time on this planet, to survive who we are, to learn, to grow. But in another way, no, I don't believe they are. I really don't. They're empty, they're hollow, they mirror us, they become us. They're not a real person. And we're already a whole soul. What do you think? I'd be interested to know in your comments below where you stand on the soulmate issue, what you think about the soul group issue, what you think about the narcissist possibly being a misogynist, and really what you think about this video. I'd be really interested to find out. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you next time, and blessed be.